Welcome, fans and collectors! This is Marvel and DC 379 with another review, and today we'll be looking at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2012 series, Michelangelo. This is the re-released and repainted version where the knee and elbow pads are repainted to match the mask color, and they painted pupils for the eyes. And that's really cool. The colored pads remind me of the 80s Turtles, while the brown pads, where the initial releases had, reminds me of the 2003 and the comic book Turtles. So let's see if the paint makes a difference. So for colors, obviously the pads, the elbow pads and knee pads match the color of his mask, and he's a lime green, which is incredibly accurate to Michelangelo since there are different shades of green, which I really like because it shows uniqueness, individuality, and diversity. And his belt is nicely sculpted with little square button things across his waist, which is nice detail, and there's little battle damage details on the front of his shell, which is nice since the turtles are always fighting. The shell has really nice realistic detail with the hexagons on the shell, and the paint is very gorgeous, although there's some missing on one of his feet, which is very unfortunate, and it's very sloppy, but that's where the bad ends for paint and detail. So let's look at the head sculpt. It looks exactly like Mikey from the 2012 series. They captured the likeness incredibly well with the goofy smile and the eyes. Even the ends of the bandana are the shortest, and that's another thing I love about the 2012 series, is they've done a lot of things to make the turtles very unique. And the tails of their masks each have a different length, and Mikey has the shortest. So articulation: ball jointed head, hinge shoulders, hinge elbow, swivel wrist, hinge hips, hinge knees, and that's about it. For Playmate standards in this scale, that's incredible articulation. The turtles have the best articulation, while the bad guy characters like Shredder and Krang have the worst. So let's start with accessories, and obviously his most iconic, the nunchucks, and I really like that it's a different shade of orange than the ones on his mask and his knee and elbow pads. It's like a brownish orange, and I like that because it adds variety of colors. They're pretty nicely detailed with the segmented sculpting and the chains. I know a lot of people complain about the chains being, well, plastic rather than real metal chains, but I don't mind, and honestly, in my personal opinion, I actually prefer the plastic chains. But the only thing that does bother me is that there's no color, no silver paint for the chains. But you could do that yourself if you are really good at painting, but honestly, I would prefer it if Playmates actually put in the effort to put color in these chains. So you get a sprue of weapons, and you can cut them out with a sprue cutter, and that kind of makes me glad I have a hobby of collecting Gundam models. So here are the weapons that come with the sprue. A pair of smaller shuriken, or ninja stars. A pair of larger shuriken, and I like these better, to be honest. And a kusarigama. And I know some of you are like, what the hell is a kusarigama? In Japanese, it means a chained sickle, especially that this is a sickle attached to a chain. Because I know martial arts and I've studied history, the ninja, they were originally farmers, but they were kind of sick and tired of samurai treating them like crap, so they fought back and they modified and repurposed farming tools and weapons into actual combat weapons. And the kusarigama has a lot of variety of use for weapons, like the actual sickle or the kama is great for close quarters combat. The chain provides range, and the ball at the end could crush samurai skulls open. But this is accurate to the show, since in the show, one of the nunchucks, the chain extends and deploys a blade in one of the sticks. So, yeah, I really think this is cool, but the same complaints I have with the nunchuck chains applies here because there's no silver paint either on the chain or on the blade. But honestly, that's justified because it comes from a sprue. And I've been collecting model kits for a while, especially Gundam stuff. So if you want detail and paint, you have to paint it yourself. I mean, with this is completely understandable and justified. With the nunchucks, they could have easily added silver paint for the chains. But my overall thoughts, in my opinion, this is the definitive 2012 Michelangelo, and the only way I could be proven wrong is if they upscaled it into 6 inches and be part of the classic collection, and I'm still waiting for that. I'm not saying that's never going to happen. I'm just going to say that it's not going to happen anytime soon because they've had classic collection versions of the 80s Turtles and the live-action 90s Turtles, which is the reason why I love Ninja Turtles in the first place. So, thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. So until then, Booyakasha!